Growing older is an inevitable part of life, but as time passes, we may unknowingly adopt habits that push others away. These habits aren't intentional, yet without anyone pointing them out, they can quietly harm relationships. In today's video, we'll explore 13 common habits in our later years that may unknowingly alienate the people closest to us. Understanding these can help us preserve and nurture the connections we hold dear. Habit number 1. Constant complaining. As we grow older, it's natural to face challenges. Our bodies change, the pace of life quickens, and our financial concerns seem endless. It's easy to fall into a cycle of complaining, especially when the world around us feels overwhelming. But when we make every conversation a list of grievances, people start to tune us out. Imagine this. You call your friend Helen, and every time all she talks about is how terrible her neighbors are, the weather, or the government. Eventually, you'd probably stop reaching out. Venting every now and then is completely healthy and necessary. But when we make negativity our default mode, it can have a draining effect on those around us. It's not that people don't care. It's just that constantly focusing on what's wrong can create a heavy atmosphere. Why not try shifting the tone by sharing small joys instead? Perhaps a funny moment you witnessed, or a new hobby you've taken up. These little bursts of positivity can brighten up any conversation and leave both you and your listener feeling lighter and more connected. Habit number 2, talking only about illnesses. As we age, it's inevitable that our bodies change, and we might deal with conditions like arthritis, high blood pressure, or chronic pain. It's important to acknowledge these struggles, but if every conversation revolves around your health, it can start to feel overwhelming. Imagine this. You meet up with a loved one, and instead of chatting about life, interests, or even lighthearted topics, all they talk about is their latest doctor's visit or their long list of medications. While your family loves you and cares about your well-being, they also want to engage with you beyond your health. They're interested in hearing about what's on your mind, your thoughts on the world around you, or the funny moments that made you smile. You are so much more than your health issues. One woman shared how her granddaughter used to eagerly visit her every week until those visits became nothing but long conversations about her medications. Eventually, those visits dwindled, and now they only see each other on holidays. Being mindful of how often you bring up health can help keep relationships balanced and prevent the conversation from feeling like a constant medical update. Habit number 3, being too opinionated. With the experiences and wisdom accumulated over a lifetime, surviving wars, navigating heartbreaks, and witnessing countless changes in the world, your opinions are valuable. However, there's a fine line between sharing your views and becoming too forceful with them. While your perspective is shaped by years of life experience, it's important to remember that not everyone will agree with you, and that's perfectly okay. When your conversations become about enforcing your beliefs or my way or the highway thinking, it can create unnecessary tension. Sometimes, it's crucial to step back and acknowledge that others are entitled to their own thoughts, even if they differ from yours. A simple, "I see where you're coming from," can go a long way in keeping the peace and fostering mutual respect. Take Harold, 74, as an example. He didn't realize how his constant advice to his daughter about her parenting style was actually driving a wedge between them. What he intended as guidance, she felt was judgment. By constantly correcting her, he unknowingly pushed her away, leading to a strained relationship. Recognizing when to listen and when to offer an opinion is key to maintaining harmonious connections. Habit number 4, neglecting personal hygiene. This may be a tough topic, but it's an important one. As we age, we sometimes lose the energy or drive to maintain our personal hygiene. Whether it's due to physical limitations or simply a loss of motivation, it's not uncommon for people to let their personal care slip. However, hygiene is about so much more than just cleanliness. It's about maintaining dignity and self-respect. It's a reflection of how we value ourselves and how we want others to perceive us. When a loved one visits and encounters the scent of stale clothes or unwashed dishes, they might not comment on it directly, but their discomfort could lead them to avoid future visits. One caregiver shared how her father, who had always taken pride in his appearance, stopped brushing his teeth in his later years. This seemingly small change broke her heart, but it also created a barrier, making it harder to connect with him emotionally. A simple act of taking a shower, wearing clean clothes, and combing your hair can speak volumes, saying, "I still care about myself and about how I present myself to the world." It's not just for others, it's a form of self-respect. Habit number 5, living in the past. There's something magical about reminiscing, sharing the stories of how you met your partner or recalling the vibrant days of the past. Those memories are treasures, but if every conversation revolves around the past, it can create a distance between you and the present. While it's beautiful to reflect on the good old days, it's equally important to engage with what's happening now. Your children are eager to hear your thoughts on their new career, and your grandchildren are excited to show you their favorite music or the latest funny video they've found. By staying fixated on how life used to be, you're missing out on connecting with the people who are part of your life today. Instead of only recounting past experiences, why not ask questions? What's your son's biggest challenge at work? What has your granddaughter been enjoying lately? Staying curious and involved in the present allows you to build deeper connections and share in the joy of each other's lives, rather than being stuck in memories. Habit number 6, criticizing younger generations. We've all heard the phrase, "kids these days," and let's be honest, we've probably said it ourselves. It's easy to feel disconnected from younger generations when their behaviors seem so different from what we're used to. Maybe they dress in ways that seem odd, speak faster than we're comfortable with, or spend more time on their phones than we think is necessary. But when your interactions are filled with constant criticism, it creates a divide, and before long, they stop listening altogether. It's a familiar pattern. The same way your parents probably thought your music was too loud or your jeans were too tight. It's the cycle of life, and it happens with every generation. Rather than pointing out what you don't understand, try focusing on the things you admire. Tell your grandson how creative he is with his artwork, or tell your granddaughter how strong and resilient she is. Emphasizing their strengths and building them up will create a bridge of understanding, while criticism will only burn it down. The more you nurture their qualities, the more they'll open up to you, strengthening the bond between generations. Habit number 7, gossiping or meddling. In small communities or tight-knit circles, it can be tempting to get involved in everyone's business. You may feel like you're just sharing a little news, but gossip can silently erode the trust between you and others. And meddling, offering your opinion when it's not wanted, can create an unnecessary wall of defensiveness. One man shared how his mother, who truly wanted to help, kept inserting herself into his marriage, offering advice without being asked. What she thought was harmless concern ended up causing a rift that lasted for years. The key here is learning when to mind your own business. Let others live their lives as they see fit. If they need guidance or advice, they'll ask for it. Offering unsolicited opinions or gossiping about others rarely results in anything positive. Sometimes, peace and stronger relationships come from knowing when to keep quiet and let others navigate their own paths. Respecting boundaries can deepen connections and maintain harmony. Habit number 8, refusing to adapt or learn. With the rapid pace of technological change, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Smartphones, online banking, QR codes, and more. It may seem like too much to keep up with, and it's tempting to just ignore it all. But refusing to even try to learn can cut you off from a world full of opportunities. Staying open to new technology not only helps you stay connected, but it also keeps your mind sharp and engaged. Think about how wonderful it would be to video chat with your grandchildren or send them a birthday message online. Imagine the joy of being able to share a moment with them, even when they're far away. One woman in her 80s decided to take a basic computer class, and now she plays virtual chess with her nephew, who lives across the country. She says it made her feel more connected and even younger. The world won't slow down to match our pace, but we can choose to keep moving forward with it, embracing change rather than resisting it. Habit number 9, playing the victim. It's true, loneliness can be incredibly hard to face. The isolation that comes with aging can sometimes feel unbearable, but harboring thoughts like, "My children never visit, no one calls me, nobody cares anymore," while understandable, only creates more pain and distance. These thoughts not only keep you stuck, but they also close your heart to the possibility of connection. Instead of waiting for others to change, why not take the first step? Reach out. Call a friend just to chat, even if it's only for a few minutes. Send a thoughtful birthday card to someone. Invite a neighbor over for tea. Making the first move might feel vulnerable, but it shows strength, resilience, and an openness to maintaining relationships. People are often waiting for an invitation or a reminder that you care. By taking that initiative, you not only fight loneliness, but you also show others that you're still invested in making connections. Small actions can have a big impact. Habit number 10, being financially controlling. Money can be a tricky subject, especially as we age. You want to help your children or grandchildren, and it's natural to want to support them. But when financial help comes with strings attached, it can quickly turn into something much less generous. The mindset of, "I gave you this, so now you owe me that," can create a sense of obligation and guilt that undermines the love and care behind the gesture. Instead of attaching conditions to your support, try giving freely, without expecting anything in return. When financial assistance is given out of love, not control, it fosters stronger relationships. Unfortunately, for some, the habit of constantly reminding others of the things they've done for them can lead to resentment. One elderly man, for example, continuously reminded his children of every financial favor he had extended, whether it was helping with bills or gifting them money. Over time, his children began to feel overwhelmed by the pressure and guilt, leading to less frequent visits. In the end, the love behind the money became clouded by expectations, and it strained their relationship. Giving without conditions is the purest form of support and is far more meaningful. Habit number 11, refusing help. Accepting help can feel incredibly difficult, especially when we've prided ourselves on being independent throughout our lives. It's easy to view asking for assistance as a sign of weakness, but in reality, it's a form of connection and mutual support. When your granddaughter offers to carry your groceries or your neighbor insists on driving you to an appointment, it's not about losing your autonomy. It's about creating an opportunity for others to show they care. Allowing people to help you doesn't diminish your value. In fact, it strengthens relationships and brings you closer to the people around you. There's a powerful sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing you've made a difference in someone else's life, and that feeling is shared when you accept their help. While pride is an important part of maintaining dignity, it's crucial to recognize that relationships are far more important. By accepting help, you not only allow others to give, but also deepen your connections with them. Habit number 12, losing a sense of humor. As we age, life can certainly feel like it gets heavier, whether it's dealing with illness, the loss of loved ones, or the aches and pains that come with getting older. But amid all these challenges, humor has an incredible power to lift the weight. Being able to laugh, find joy in the small things, and embrace the absurdities of life doesn't just make you feel better. It also attracts others to you. A joyful spirit is magnetic, and people are drawn to those who still find reasons to smile. While humor can't erase the difficulties of life, it provides a reminder that you still have the capacity to enjoy the present, and that you haven't lost touch with the lighter side of life. One elderly woman used to laugh and say, "I may be wrinkled, but I'm still spicy." Her playful attitude and infectious spirit made her a joy to be around, not because she was perfect, but because she made others feel alive and reminded them that aging doesn't mean losing your spark. Habit number 13, giving unsolicited advice. This habit can be challenging to navigate, especially because it often comes from a place of love and a desire to help. You've gathered a lifetime of wisdom, and it's natural to want to share that knowledge with others. However, constantly offering advice, especially when it's not asked for, can often feel more like criticism than support. People don't always want solutions to their problems. Sometimes they just want to be heard. When your daughter opens up about her struggles with parenting, instead of offering a long list of solutions, try simply acknowledging her feelings. "That sounds really hard. I'm proud of you." Sometimes that one sentence can have a far greater impact than any advice you could give. It fosters trust, empathy, and connection. It's important to remember that when people need guidance, they'll ask for it. Until then, Simply being present, listening, and offering emotional support can make all the difference in nurturing deeper relationships. That truly nurtures the bonds we share with others. It's these qualities that make your presence a gift rather than a burden. The good news is you don't need to change everything all at once. Even focusing on improving just one small habit can have a profound impact on how those around you feel. Take a moment to pause, reflect, and ask yourself with kindness, which of these habits resonate with me? If this message touched something inside you, consider sharing it with someone who might need it. And don't forget to leave a comment. What's the most common habit you've noticed around you? Let's keep the conversation going and support each other in making positive changes. As always, remember to stay compassionate, remain humble, and keep your heart open to the joys that come with every new day.